take our kids to see some things. And we were lucky enough on the day between the St. Martin's game and the Seattle Pacific game to go meet up with some alumni at Boeing. And we were lucky to go on the Boeing tour. And then Brian Weber spent probably a good hour and a half after the game speaking to our guys about the opportunities that he was afforded with his education here. And it was kind of captivating to see our guys all re-engaged. I mean, we had 30 guys around him asking all the questions, asking about his internships, so that was pretty sweet. Actually, and it's kind of a reminder of what type of student athletes and what their ambitions are after they leave here. We also went down for dinner to the public market, which was pretty cool for the guys. They had dinner down there, and it was quite an experience. You know, this is one of the luxuries of being in athletics, is that you maybe get a chance to take these places to places they've never seen and participate in this. So as us trying to be an educator and giving kids experience, this will definitely be one that they will not ever forget, and hopefully inspired some of them and refocus them with their education as these are young freshmen and sophomores to kind of go. Then we went to, there he is, that's Tim Tribbett. That's the nation's leader in saves. Fantastic guy out of Centennial, Colorado, right outside of Denver. You know, we're really lucky to have this young man. He's a civil engineering major and has kept us in a lot of games. And hopefully has many good years to come. But here's some of the saves that he makes coming up, able to kind of get in. He's a little bit undersized, but he's good. Great breakaway save, being brave, getting down low. Saved off the line, then a great reaction save there. Good little punch. He's actually pretty athletic. Good hold. The hardest thing to do on a day like today is hold on to the soccer ball. And Tim is what we call a sticky keeper. He doesn't give up rebounds. The ball seems to stay close to him, so we're pretty lucky that way. But we're lucky. I mean, the future is bright. We just got to keep plugging away and getting these guys a little bit more experience, get them a little bit more polished up, and actually get a break. When we played SPU in a great college atmosphere, there's probably about 1,500 fans. They had drums. They had those Zubawelas things blaring. They were chanting. It was awesome. And unfortunately, we gave up a penalty kick on a handball in the penalty box with 6 minutes left in regulation. It's one of those breaks that we seem to have going against us that we never get for us this year. And if you watch the video, I know we've watched this a couple times, if you watch 100 soccer games, 50 of them will play on and 50 of them will call it. It was just that much in the gray area and ref's decision. We played great. We had some chances to score. We were on top of them for a good part of the game. Just seems like the goal is about as big as this microphone some days or most of the season. So I know how basketball coaches think and football thinks that end zone's far away and the basketball has a lid on it and all that stuff. So it is good, but our guys are still fighting, and that's a good thing. We're lucky to be at home the rest of the way. We play 2 this weekend. We play Montana Billings, which is a little bit of a derby match or a rivalry game for us. We probably played them the most in the 2 years, including the spring. We play Northwest Nazarene, and it'll be good to get him here on Saturday. And then we close the season next Saturday at 6:30 at Sioux Park with the University of Mary. So these are all kind of close games. I know the guys are working hard, still fighting for you, representing the university correctly, and hopefully we'll keep going. Getting in. We're excited about our recruiting class again, and hopefully we can keep going. All right. Thank you very much.
Exciting football game on Saturday, and it was great to be able to send the seniors off in their final home game with a big win. And we have one of those players who will be joining us shortly, but let's bring up the head coach of the Rockers, Stacy Collins. Stacy.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, everybody, for coming out again today. Certainly a great way to end our seniors' last home season, our last home game. We played as good a first half as we've played this season. That was good to see because a week before we certainly didn't do that. So we made some adjustments. We came back, played good, solid football. Honored 10 seniors that have done a tremendous job here, taking us through a transition from NAI to full-fledged Division II, and it was really a great way to end things on Saturday. Played a very, very quality opponent this Saturday. Fort Hays State is a good football team. Watch them on tape. They're good offensively. They're good defensively. They're on a 4-game win streak. They're in the same conference as Missouri Southern that we played earlier in the year, and they are very, very talented, very impressed with what they're doing. So, what questions can I answer for you about the Dakota State game or our upcoming game against Fort Hays State?
Chance to play a lot of players we noticed in the second half. And I suspect at this stage of the season that's a good opportunity to get some of your starters out of there with 2 road games coming up. Give those kids who don't get a chance to play very much play.
Yeah, I thought it was a great opportunity. You know, anytime you're able to jump in on a game like that, and we played everybody that was available to us on our roster, and that goes a long ways in giving guys that opportunity to actually get some game time and live. And it's nice for us to get a game evaluation of them, how, not just what they're doing in practice, but what they're doing in the games. Brido, you got a couple clips from this last weekend we'll take a peek at. This is Devin Jones. He kicked a 53-yarder for us. That's a new school record, which is extremely impressive. Devin's been great this year. He's 7 of 8, hit a 50-yarder earlier in the season. This is 53. He's got a ton of legs for all 145 pounds of him. He can get it off. He's got good snap. He's done a great pickup for us and just done a great job. So we're excited to have Devin back for another year on it, but just a feather in the cap on what he's done so far. But great job. It all starts with the snap, the kick, the hold, and certainly the protection phase has been good, but it was great to see him put this thing through. A couple of our different offensive touchdowns here on Saturday. We played as well as we could in a half. I give him a hard count look. This is a tremendous catch by Marshall Davis. I thought he had 2 big-time catches on Saturday. It was great to see Marshall, who's been a very consistent receiver for us in his last home game here at Dunham Field, to make these plays. But this was 1 of 2 great catches. He had over 100 yards receiving, was very, very productive for us. Ben Broker here in a little play-action series look for us. He gets it out to Pat Berkey. Berkey does a great job with a run after the catch, and we thought we could get after their secondary. We thought we had some matchup pieces on that, and we certainly took advantage of that, and it was good to see our guys execute. And I think we had 8 different receivers catch passes on Saturday, so that's a credit to what we're doing offensively and our quarterbacks being able to get the ball out to a handful of different targets. Defensively, we've had a lot of success with turnovers this year, and this game we had 7. This is won by Josh Thomas, and I tell you what, if Josh had a little bit better hands, and I'll be the first to tell him, and his dad will be the second who played in the NFL for 3 years, he'd have had 3 picks, probably about 13 on the year. But this is a great job with Josh. He's got big-time speed. He's one of Jerry's track guys that runs the 100. What's his best track time, Jerry? Yeah, I mean, he can scoot in the 100. The guy's got legitimate speed. So when he gets the ball out in space, he can make things happen. And Josh is just doing a tremendous job for us on the football field and also in the track piece of the game. So great to see him get the ball. Another defensive turnover here. This was a real nice play right here, and Pat Shaw's going to be up here in just a minute. Pat Shaw was our defensive player of the game right here. Dakota State went to a lot of 3-step in the second half trying to get the ball in their hands, but a big-time pick for Pat on his last opportunity to play on Dunham Field. Great return on this back end of it with a horse collar to follow on the end of it. So great job by Pat here. I thought Coach Pallasser was going to be the one who was going to catch him there on the sideline. And again, another job of getting a hat on the ball. Able to get some young guys in the game. Jake Reedner does a great job of coming up with a turnover, And this is something we preach all the time. We spend a lot of time on, but great job getting the ball out, coming back with it. I think our turnover ratio this year right now is plus 12, and when you're plus 12 as a team, you're going to have success. So that's been a huge reason we've had, we've had more wins on the win column this year. And the last one, Brandon Pierce was a wide receiver for us up to 2 weeks ago, and so we've moved him to corner. He finished the game with a pick in the end zone, so it's great to see a true freshman continue to grow, continue to develop. He does a great job of high pointing the ball, does a great job of looking and leaning and making a play. So it's good to see him get some confidence, go up and make that pick in the end zone. A lot of great plays on Saturday. It was a beautiful day out there. Any other questions? Tom, you're a Fort Hays grad. You got nothing? Okay. How are we going to beat them? We're going to play well in all three phases of the game. They've really done a nice job with their coaching staff and what they're doing. But we've got to get turnovers on defense. We've got to be able to control the ball on offense, and we've got to tilt it on special teams. They beat Lincoln last week in a dogfight. They beat Southwest Baptist. They beat William Jewell, who we played earlier. There's one more in there that I'm missing. Their first 4 games were they ran the gamut of the MIAA, the Northwest Missouris, the Pitt States, and I think their 4 losses are all against top 10 opponents at that time. So they've certainly played a tough schedule, but it's a well-coached football team and a very talented football team. Speed on offense, yeah, they're very, very fast on offense, physical on defense. A lot of times they don't bring a lot of pressure, and they don't need to for a reason. Their front seven's very good, and they're talented on the back end also, but you can see the speed jump at you. A lot like Missouri Southern. When you watch their tape, the overall team speed is certainly very, very high.
You want to tell a bit about the other scoring record that you guys broke on Saturday?
Yeah, well, Brad, you know a little bit more about it than I do, so why don't you clue us in there?
This season, you guys became the Hardrockers have the all-time scoring record with 335 points. The old record was set in 2009, 321 points, and you saw 2 games to play.
Yeah, our offensive staff and our offensive players have done just a tremendous job in moving the football this year, scoring points each week, and that's a credit to what they're doing all the way around. And I knew when I had Coach Tinker, Coach Hyman, Coach Ackerman, Coach Ray's back in that crew, that's a top-end staff at the Division II level. Our players have stepped up, and they've just really done a great job on the offensive side all year long. Well, I'm going to bring Pat Shaw up here. Pat Shaw is a senior outside linebacker, safety for us. He's a civil engineering major. And Pat just doesn't only do it on the football field, but he does it off the football field. He's part of our SAC community. He works directly with our FCA huddle. Tremendous student, and really is what we're all about here as a football program, both on and off the field. So, Pat, come on up.
So just to talk a little bit about the game on Saturday and our preparation for it. Coach was talking about respect because we didn't respect the game going into Tiffin College. We thought we were just going to go into Des Moines, Iowa and just sort of run over them. And obviously that wasn't the fact that happened. And we had to take a step back and realize what we need to do. Meet with our coaches more one-on-one, watch some film. And that's what we did going into Dakota State. And talking about that interception I had, I saw handful of times in that situation on the goal line that they run number 2 vertical or in the corner, and they'll bring that number 1 at a slant. And right before the play, we checked it to a different call that we didn't really run during the week. That put me outside that number 2 receiver. And I remember talking to the safety right before, and I was like, "Are you sure?" And he was like, "Yeah, let's run it." And we did, and sure enough, I got that interception off that play, and that went back to the preparation that Coach forced us to do. And it can see that it's going to leave a better legacy for our seniors to the younger guys, that if we do prepare for these games, this is the outcome that's going to happen. And just something that we can keep on moving forward to for the rest of the season. And do you guys have any questions for me?
How much film did you watch?
Personally, anytime I get it, I'll bring my phone up, and all our film's on Huddle, and there's an app for the iPhone and the Android, and I just bring it up on my iPhone, and I'm in the trainers probably for an hour every day, and I'll pretty much watch film every time I'm in the training room. Homework and all those reports that I have due every week, it gets a little challenging during the week, and I just have to, every 15 minutes I have here or there, I'll bring my phone out or my laptop out, and I'll get the film going. So.
Thinking back on your career here, what are 2 or 3 of the highlights that really stand out in your mind?
And obviously the senior game, my last time playing in Dunham Field, that's going to be a special moment in my life just because my mom's a breast cancer survivor, so wearing pink when she was here in the stands and the way I could play probably my best game that I've ever played here at School of Mines, it was a blessing for me to play like that in front of her. And then beating BH earlier this year is something that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. And before that game, I told all the younger guys who maybe haven't had the experiences that I've had or the new faces that we had in the locker room, if we win this tonight, that they'll remember the game for the rest of their life. And sure enough, they came up after me after that game, and they said, yeah, this is the game that I'll remember. And then probably going 7-3 my freshman year with that team and seeing what those guys put in probably helped me to get to where I'm at today. So. Anything else?
What's on the horizon for the future for you?
Academically or athletically?
Both.
I was given the opportunity to play in an All-American Bowl in December in Minneapolis, and so that's in for the near future in December. It's on the 28th, so that's something I'll start training for after I get my body healthy after the season. Academically, I'll graduate in May of 2015, so I have another year after this year. And as a civil engineer, there's a couple different focuses I can go into. I interned for McCarthy Building Companies, which is a construction company. They're based out of St. Louis, and they have areas that they construct all over the country. And I was living at home right outside of Phoenix, going to work every day, and then training after work. And they offered me a full-time job, and then I'm pursuing a couple different internships this next summer to get a little variation to see what I really want to do for the rest of my life. So. Thank you.
Mentioned that the golf club at Red Rock is our new sponsor this year, and it's appropriate that we have the 2 golf coaches here to talk a little bit about Hardrocker golf. I know Kirk has scheduled an 18-hole practice round later this afternoon for his team, so we'll bring Kirk Allison up first, the men's golf coach here at the School of Mines. Kirk?
Well, I'm not sure today is a good day to play. I guess give you guys a little recap of our fall season. One word describes our fall season, and that is frustrating. We had three events cancel. The first one was down in Levita, Colorado, sponsored by Wayland Baptist, and the coach called me 2 weeks before the event and said the course is unplayable. Southern Colorado has water restrictions, and so therefore they couldn't water their fairways or tee boxes, and he said the fairways were like concrete, so they canceled that event. The other tournament that was canceled was Sioux Falls University, which we attended last year. They have 2 co-coaches, new co-coaches this year, and they didn't want to tackle hosting an event their first year. So that tournament went by the wayside. So I scrambled, and Sioux Falls did say that they would come out and play here in Rapid City at Hart Ranch. I got MSU Billings to commit to come and play, so thought we would at least get a little triangular with those schools. However, we got 31 inches of snow. So that wasn't going to work. So other than that, we did get 2 events in this fall. One up in Billings at MSU Billings, and in which our kids played well. We shot 307 the first day, and then turned around and shot 290 the second day for a team score, which is the lowest individual or single day score that we've had since I've been here in 2.5 years. And combined with the 307, it was our lowest tournament score. So that was encouraging. The other event that we went to was down in Pueblo, Colorado, at CSU Pueblo, and the it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Fall and spring golf sometimes is not the best weather conditions, And so we get down there for the practice round, and it's 75 degrees and beautiful, about 10-mile-an-hour winds, and next day we come out there and it's 65 degrees and it's blowing 30. So the last day, no wind, and the high was 41. So those are kind of the conditions our kids get to play in, but so does everyone else. And we didn't play as well as I'd liked, but considering the fall season that we had, there are signs of improvement. As an example, the tournament in Billings, freshman Walker Houlihan had the hour low individual score for that tournament the first day, in which he was in 4th place overall. And then the second day, he didn't quite play as well, but one of our seniors kind of picked up the slack and shot 69, which is a very, very good score. In Pueblo, we had, of the 3 rounds that we played down there, 2 freshmen had our low scores for the team for each round. Walker Houlihan had the first and last round lowest score for our team, and Corey Pryor from Mount Vernon, Missouri, had the low score for the second round. So there's some good potential there. I guess going forward, we're going to have a very aggressive spring schedule because of what happened this fall. Right now I have 3 events scheduled, one back up in Billings, another one in the middle of April down in Pueblo again, and then we are going to Palm Desert, California, the end of March, 1st of April, for an event there that we hopefully will tie in with the alumni fundraiser in Phoenix that Tom has been putting on the last few years. So that's always, it's a fun trip for the kids. We can kind of make it work with the Allegiant flights. We stay in Phoenix for a couple of nights and play there, and then it's only 4 hours to California, and so it's a very workable tournament. Kids aren't missing too much school, and it's a fun event for them. So that leaves me with one more event that I'll try and schedule here shortly to get us the 4 that we need to get done in the spring, and we should be good. Other than that, honestly, I think the golf program is making strides. Not maybe as quick as I would like, but we are making strides. I've got two kids right now that have pretty much committed to coming next year, of which one is he's just an absolute stud. I mean, he's won junior events over in California, and he's a tournament player, consistently shoots in the 60s, and is coming to visit next week. Really wants to come to the school, so that's a good sign. I've got 2 other kids that I've been working with, especially one from Wisconsin and another kid from Idaho. So if I can land those 3, I'm going to be tickled. So other than that, we will be working hard this winter with a winter conditioning program, flexibility program for the kids. And so when February, March rolls around, they will at least have been swinging and keeping their golf muscles going rather than taking 4 months off. So that's kind of where we're at as far as the golf program. Questions?
Will you have a home event next spring?
No, spring is hard for us to host events just because the weather situation is very iffy. Some years it's great, and then some years we don't open courses around here till the middle of April. And by that time, we're pretty much done with our season. So I'd rather try to host events in the fall because our falls are typically more predictable. Yeah.
You have a home course?
Hart Ranch Golf Course is our home course. However, most of the courses in town have been very, very nice to us as far as giving us access. especially in the spring, because Hart Ranch sometimes does not open as soon as some of the others. So Arrowhead Country Club has been good over the years, letting us come out and play and practice. Red Rock has now done the same, where we can get out and play in the spring over there because they stay open year-round. And this year, the Elks Golf Course has been nice enough to let our kids play out there as well. So the access to courses is not an issue, but Hart Ranch is our home course, and just mainly due to the practice facilities. Thank you.
Well, the first chance I've had to introduce the women's golf coach at the School of Mines. He is not in the witness protection program. He's been around campus at Cody Peterson.
Well, thank you. And thanks, Kirk, for kind of setting the guidelines of what I'm supposed to do here today. As you all are aware, I'm really new, so this is very new to me on what I'm supposed to be doing. But just to recap on what happened this last fall, obviously our season is done now, but we did get in 3 tournaments, and one tournament ended up in just 2 holes and downpour and rain, so we ended up not getting that one in. But MSU, we played up in Billings. We played pretty well. I kind of had high expectations for all my athletes. We're still in the stages of figuring out what we need to do to improve upon our abilities. We have a really good freshman this year, Cassidy Vollmer. I was really impressed with her ability. Being a new freshman, I kind of know, coming into these big tournaments, it's a challenge, and for her, we had to move the distance back. So she's used to playing shorter distance in high school. So it was a big change for her, different clubs that she was hitting, and we worked on that prior to the tournaments, and I feel that we still need to improve upon that, but she did place in 2 of the 3 tournaments that we played. She placed in the top 10. And to do that as a freshman in a big tournament, playing against some of the best in the nation, it was scary for her, and scary for a new coach even, trying to figure out how am I going to tell her what to do on this next hole when I'm standing right next to her going, what club should you probably hit here? So it's been a struggle, but and as Kirk said, we've had some weather issues, so that's been fun to plan around all them issues. With the big snowstorm that we got, we had to bring a lot of our practice indoors. So it's a struggle when you have to bring it indoors and you can't actually see what your shot is doing and to improve upon that. So mainly it's just keeping everything working, keeping the muscles moving, keeping the core of your swing strong, and keeping loose. Through this winter, we're going to be working workouts, and we are going to be hitting indoors to stay loose. But the main thing that we're going to be focusing on is teamwork and keeping our core and our workouts strong. Keeping the core of your swing is very important for the golf game, and keeping loose through the wintertime. If you take 4 months off, it's almost like taking 3 years off. So we're going to work on that through the winter. I know that they're excited about their new coach. I'm committed to the team. They know that I'm committed. I've been there every day with them, showing them that I am committed to improving upon this women's golf program. We do have a couple of recruits that are very interested in coming here. We have 3 right now in the works that are very good golfers. We have a possible new one that's going to be joining us this spring, so I'm very excited about that, and I'm excited about this next spring. I'm working on the tournaments that we're going to be joining. MSU and Kearney are going to be hosting their tournaments again. And as a new coach, as you heard from Kirk, the Sioux Falls didn't want to host their first tournament as a new coach. Well, I'm going to try. And we're going to see how that's going to work out. I know you just heard Kirk say spring doesn't usually work, but I'm going to try it and see if it works, and hopefully that we can get some good schools out here. I'm trying to get at least, my goal is 6 to 7 D2 schools out here to play in our first women's hosting golf tournament. So I'm looking forward to that. Hart Ranch has been very good to us. So with that said, that's about all I got. Any questions?
How do the Division II rules affect your practice?
Well, I'm still learning all those rules. There's a book about this big in between my full-time job and as a golf coach. I'm finding out all those rules. It's been a struggle. Yeah, between me learning them and knowing what I'm supposed to be doing and what I'm not supposed to be doing, it's been a struggle. But you know what? We'll always do what we need to do to improve upon, no matter how much time we get. If we get 30 hours a week, 20 hours, 10 hours, it doesn't matter to me. 1 hour with my athletes is better than none. And if I can maintain at least the minimum, then we will succeed.
How many lady golfers do you have?
Currently, we have 8 women on the team. We have 2 seniors, 3 juniors, 2 sophomores, and a freshman. So a pretty young team. So looking forward to the next couple of years. Any other questions? Thanks.
Don't worry about those NCAA violations, Cody. You're only on internet coast to coast right now, so. Just joking. Want to bring up Jerry Schafer to wrap things up, our cross-country and track coach, with an update on our program. Jerry?
We ran our next to the last meet of the season on Thursday last week at Gillette College in Gillette, Wyoming. Wasn't quite what we were looking for. We did get beat by a combined score of 19 points between the men's and women's combined score. Again, that was kind of a special dual series that we set up. There's a pickaxe that we have as a traveling trophy. We started that last year. We call it the Wyodak Pickaxe Duel, and we've been defeated now for 2 years in a row. I think last year we lost by 1 point. We were without the services on the men's side of 2 of our top 5 runners, so that did make it a little more challenging. But that was no excuse. We really probably underachieved a little bit last Thursday. We weren't quite ready to finish the race that we started, but we're learning from that. We did have some positives from that race. The team did pack very well, both the men's and women's teams. I think the women were 34 seconds from first to fifth runner, and the men were somewhere in that same range. So that's a positive. They're learning that concept, and so that should do us well as we go to Canyon, Texas here in about a week and a half to running the region meet. Region meet's going to be tough. South Central region is the toughest region in Division II. 6 teams will qualify out of there for the national championship. The Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference is the biggest conference of the 3 conferences in that region, and I believe they have 6 ranked teams in the top 20 nationally. So they are going to be tough, and but we're going to give it our best shot. It'll be the first 10K that our men will have run, and the first 6K that our women will have run. So it is a bit longer race, which probably plays into our kids' strengths a little bit more. So. Any questions?
How many teams will be down there?
A rough guess, somewhere between 25 and 30. I believe there's, in the 3 conferences, there's between 27 and 29 teams. And I know the RMAC has 13, and I believe the other 2 conferences are somewhere combined about that size as well. So, and then you add us as the independent, we'll be between 25 and 30 teams. So that'll also be the largest meet we will have run in all year. So the report I got this morning is the course is going to be tough footing, and at the home meet down at West Texas State, or West Texas A&M earlier in the season, they were chasing rattlesnakes off before the race. So we think we're prepared because where we run mile repeats here at Founders Park, our women actually, one of our women had to take a rock and kill a rattlesnake earlier in the fall. So we think we're ready for this competition and looking forward to it. So.
What has to happen for an individual to advance to the national?
For an individual to advance, you have to be one of the top 3 runners not on one of the 6 qualifying teams. And generally speaking, that's going to take a top 20 finish at the region meet. We think Tyler Mack has an outside shot at that spot. We're hoping on the men's side that he can pull that off. Along with that, as near as we can tell, if to make academic All-American, you have to be in the top 55 to 60 in the region and have a 3.25 grade point average, and we know we've got Tyler Knack already sitting in that range, as well as a couple of other people. So, we think we're going to come away with at least some honors, postseason honors. So, thank you.
I was thinking I was one coach short. Tiffany, come on up. Tiffany McCampbell, the Lady Hardrocker volleyball team has a match tonight at Shadron. I don't think you'll have to worry about chasing rattlesnakes off the court. Well, if there ever was a place you would have to worry about that, it might be. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Like Tom said, we go to Shadron State to play tonight. They're at the lower end of the RMAC conference, so I think we have a good 2 weeks set up. We've got 3 matches left for our kids. We've got Shadron tonight, Dickinson State next Tuesday, and Black Hills State, and I think we really have approached taking the opportunities that we have to be able to just better ourselves and try to go 3-0 at the end of the season and really kind of set the standard going into the end of the season. Talking about last week, I obviously was gone last week. My mother passed away from breast cancer last week, and so I'm just kind of wanted to just say thank you. Jenny Malone's been fantastic. She had the kids for all week last week, and sorry, I wasn't going to do this, but I think it really speaks to the testament of what a great assistant coach is. I think it speaks to the testament of what a great group of young ladies that we have, and I think it also speaks to the testament of what a great athletic staff and university that we have. Our family, I really feel like, has been supported this past week, and it was great last night to walk into practice and our kids got better, and just to be able to spend a week away and to see those improvements, the mental toughness of our kids, and to know that they get some things that are bigger than what we are, and then just to know that if I'm gone for a week,